Alright guys, welcome back. As you can see from the title, today I'm going to be kind of walking through my Thinkorswim chart setup. I have displayed here kind of what I have on my screen while I day trade. I like to have these linked with the little link button here, so I have them changed to the the same stock whenever I type something in. So that's the first thing I like to do. That's kind of personal preference. I like to see like a longer version of the chart, 1 hour, 1 day. I kind of switch that around. And then I tend to keep a 5-minute chart with after hours price turned on my right chart. And so I'll kind of walk you guys through how to do this. So I am going to just pull up a new chart here that will have base settings. And we'll just open the same thing. So this is kind of how it's going to look at first with no indicators, anything. You're going to have the blue volume. You're going to have all these lines on your chart. So we'll start just by going into the settings here. And within general, the one thing I like to change is the alerts. I like to show arrows only. Otherwise, you're going to have a line that goes all the way across your chart, which is kind of distracting and gets in the way. The arrows will just show a little arrow on the right side wherever your alert is. It's nice and neat. And that's going to be it for the general. Then we'll go over to price axis. And I like to take off the left axis here. It will pop up right here, and it's nice to have only the right one on. No need to have two. From there, we'll go to the time axis, and here under display, these are kind of all the messy lines that are on the chart. So we're going to take all of these off. And then I like to have my expansion area. I set it at about 25 bars, and that will basically just move the chart to the left, and it will leave some blank space on the right for you to kind of draw and just be able to kind of imagine what price is going to do next, not have the price so close to the right side. And so that's it on that screen. Time frames. These are the time frames I use. That's really personal preference. I like to have a really long chart for most of my time frames. So I use like a 2-year 1 day, 10-year weekly, and then I zoom in if I want to. But I tend to use the 5-minute a lot. And then I use like 30-minute hourly and daily a lot. But I'm looking at all these all the time. I look at a variety of charts. But I'd have to say 5, 30-minute, hour, and daily are probably my most used time frames. Okay, and then we'll go to appearance. I'll take the grid off. That is this grid. Some people like the grid, some people don't. I like it to be very clean. Candles, I don't really care. I have over here a more darker red, a more brighter, like, pure red, and then a brighter green, and I have them all filled. I don't really mind either way. And then I also like to change my volume bars right here to be colored. It's not a huge deal, but I think it's better than just having them all blue. It gives you a better idea of what volume is, going in the upward direction, what volume is going down. Okay, we'll go over to the equities now. And so this is where you'll find the extended hours trading. And so I actually have this unchecked on my left chart just to give a cleaner picture of gaps. I like to look at gaps, gap fills, and just gives a way cleaner picture of like the chart. And on the right, I like to have it on so I can see pre-market levels. I like to make sure I'm aware of where pre-market highs and lows are. So I like to have one chart that has that on. And that's the only thing I mess around with on there. And everything else is the same. I don't change anything. So we'll go ahead and hit apply. And if we go down here, you can see there's the chart, nice and clean. After hours is on. And yeah, that's kind of all I do in the general settings there. So I also want to go through kind of what studies that I prefer and that I like to use. So we'll go here. As you can see, I don't have any studies on my chart. I have this one called price action, and all I use here is the volume average indicator, and I stick it right on the volume bar. And so as you can see, it gives a nice average volume. And so if something's breaking out, I like to see, okay, on this breakup candle here, this has very higher than average volume, right? So that is confirming breakout of this level. It closes above the prior resistance, and so that's telling me the stock is likely headed even higher for a bit. And as we can see, this rest of this volume going sideways is lower. This is likely headed for another move higher. So that's kind of how I can use volume average and volume to determine whether a move is valid and which direction it might go next. I don't like to use any other indicators, but some that are okay are moving averages. Here, if you're gonna use moving averages, first of all, they need to not be on a chart with after hours on. So we can see they follow much better on something that has them off, like this chart. And so when you're doing this, I like to keep 3 moving averages max, and I'll show you what I have here. So I have the 20 period, the 50 period, and the 200 period moving average. Some people like a 100, 150. I think these 3 are perfectly good. They're used by many traders, and they give you a good picture of what the trend is without really cluttering things. And so if you go into the settings here, this is where you change the length. You can change the color, whatever you want. I wouldn't mess around with anything else on this. Just keep it basic, simple moving average. And if you want to just 20, 50, and 200, I still think that you should use no indicators, but that some people use that. I used to, but I think it's just distracting to what's really important, which is price and time, and volume, of course. One other indicator that's okay to use is the VWAP. If we just get rid of these real quick, and the VWAP here, but only the middle VWAP, right? So you go into settings here on the VWAP, and you want to take this upper band and lower band off, right? Uncheck show plot. The only one you want is middle, because the upper and lower band, did that not save? Okay, well the upper and lower band, people will try to trade whenever the upper and lower band are hit and say, oh, it's supposed to hit here, or it's gone over the upper band. Let me buy puts because I think it's going to go down now, and it's really not the right approach to have. Because that's why indicators are not good in my opinion. They can be very misleading. Now the middle VWAP is used by a lot of institutional traders as just an important level. If a price is coming up to it, it's a sell point. If they're in a trade and price is coming down, that could be a buy point. As you can see, there's many reactions off of the VWAP, but you still don't want to just make trades solely based on the VWAP. I prefer it as usually a spot to exit a trade if you are in one, and it's coming up to the VWAP or down to the VWAP. That's usually a good place to either exit or take a partial position off. But still, I recommend try learning without indicators. I am going to be putting out more videos on how to trade without indicators, how to find more important levels, strategies that I use. Definitely watch the support and resistance video if you haven't. That goes over some good strategies that I use and how to find important levels without needing indicators. But I will be putting more videos like that out in the future. So yeah, no indicators is what I use. Nice little price action chart, and yeah, that's how I set up my TOS charts. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them for me. And yeah, that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys for watching.